Hello my viewers, welcome back to the channel. And by the video title, you know what this video is about. Today, we're going to see and predict who will make the Steelers roster, predicting the depth chart, kind of like the positionings, the rankings, like who will be receiver 1, receiver 2, the starting linebacker group, and etc. And quarterback, of course, is probably the main topic you probably clicked on the video for. But we're going to dive into starting off first with the QBs, of course. As you guys know, the quarterbacks on our roster got Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, Kyle Allen. As you guys know, the quarterbacks haven't looked the best in preseason. A lot of people are overreacting over preseason, like kind of last year too as well. They overreacted. They thought Kenny Pickett was going to look real good in the regular season, and he went out there and played horrible. So the preseason don't really show you too much, but you do want to see at least the quarterbacks go out there to get some solid reps in, some solid reps and build some chemistry up with the team and stuff. We've seen Justin Fields in the first preseason game make some plays here and there. The past one right here kind of got a little out of sync a little bit. We've seen the athleticism on display, of course, but got out of sync, in accurate wise. And Russell Wilson looked a little shaky, a little jittery on his first preseason one right there, his first game in a little while. So hopefully they do play this last preseason game against the Lions. I hope they go out there and at least be, at least get some solid drives and get a little consistent out there to kind of shake the jitters off and get back to being, like consistently solid. Because we don't need these guys to be superb quarterback talents like that, of course not. It'd be great if they are, but they can at least stay solid enough when they not turn the ball over, where they also pushing the ball down the field and giving us opportunity, taking up and pushing it down the field, and the deep throws and making the throws routinely like that on giving plays like that. That's all we need really, because last year our quarterback play was horrible. Mr. Trubisky and Kenny Pickett, those guys couldn't make routine throws, couldn't push the ball down the field, and we couldn't get first downs. If we can get a guy like Russell Wilson, if you go out there, say for instance he have a season, he played with us, he go out there and do what he did last year, 3,700 passing yards and 26 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. If we had that last year, we probably would have won 13 games. I think based off the way our defense played and based on how all the games was very close, it just we couldn't muster out enough, power from the quarterback position and enough plays like that. We couldn't get first downs on third and long and stuff and just couldn't deliver. But now having a quarterback in Russell Wilson who is still accurate, I know he hold the ball too long sometimes as well and got himself sacked a few times in that preseason game, but he's still very accurate. You've seen the ball, he threw to George Pickens, you see what he did in training camp, you see what he did last year, of course, with Courtland Sutton and all those guys. He's still a very accurate quarterback, still have a nice arm as well. And you also got Justin Fields, who's very athletic, who has a lot of potential still, who still needs some development, of course, but I think the quarterback room is fine. A lot of people keep hating on the quarterback room a lot, saying these guys are bad, these guys suck, but they're going to see once the season starts and we actually have the full starting lineup out there, we have the right guys out there, they're going to see what it's about. But to answer the question, I think Russell Wilson probably gets the first spot, and then it's Justin Fields, just based off him being a veteran and having veteran experience and coming off the year he came off last year where he played pretty good. 26 touchdowns to 8 interceptions, I think a 98 passer rating like that. Was pretty good, pretty solid like that. And he also had 3,700 passing yards and went 7-8, I believe, as a starter last year too. So nothing too crazy, not good, not bad, kind of in between like that a little bit, solid play. So I think Russell Wilson being the starter, and if things go wrong, you can always pull him out and put Justin Fields out there. I know a lot of people want Justin Fields to start the gate, but if you start Justin Fields off out the gate, then when things go wrong with him, you go back to Russell Wilson, and that will have the same effect of a spark impact. But starting a veteran quarterback, he started mishapping and messing up, and then you put out the young guy for the spark. That's going to bring the team with a little more energy and be like a little thing, because you'll live with the young guy not being the full answer if you put him out there to start with to be the spark for the team, because he has potential like that. Russell Wilson, who is who he is now, there's no development or getting better like that. But he can kind of pull out the veteran instincts he have in his body still, and awareness, and make those plays and just deliver routine throws routinely. Like Coach always say, make the routine plays routinely. If we can just do that, I think he'll be good for our team. Our team can be pretty solid and can go a pretty good distance, if we can do that. So I say Russell Wilson, then Justin Fields, and then Kyle Allen will be the last one. Running backs, of course, we have Najee Harris, of course, Jaylen Warren, who is injured right now. He's not on IR, but he's injured with the hamstring injuries, but he's going to be there too as well. And I believe probably most likely, I know sometimes people say Cordell Patterson, but I think it might be Daijun Edwards. Daijun Edwards looked explosive out there. Had the quick speed, explosiveness. I think Cordell Patterson stay on the roster though, of course. At least stay on the roster, keep a spot on the roster. Now they could do it where they put Daijun Edwards on the practice squad, and then kind of use him when they need him to, they use him throughout the year. But I think he can make the roster. He looked very good, explosive player. Could be a kick returner probably as well. Maybe a punt returner as well. He has that quickness and elusiveness and good ball vision as well. So I think he can go out there and probably make the team like that. I think the starting, especially with Jaylen Warren being injured, he might be on the roster to start the season because Jaylen Warren might miss that first week if the hamstring don't heal up enough time for week 1 against the Falcons. So I think Najee Harris, Jaylen Warren, Dejon Edwards. I think Corey Patterson stay on the team, but I think he might be labeled as something else on the roster. On wide receivers, of course, George Pickens is going to be number 1. Now, I believe Roman Wilson could emerge as number 2. I remember I raved about him a lot on this channel and on my other channel as well about what he did at college and what he did in training camp as well before he got injured. He's a guy who has potential. You know, a shifty guy who can play inside, who can play outside, very good run out the catch, and can just a finesse type of player like that. He's kind of the opposite of what George Pickens is. George Pickens is more physically imposing type of guy. Roman Wilson is one of those guys that Steelers love. The route runners, the route technicians, the toughness and aggressiveness, not afraid to go out there, put his head down, get a block for you either like that, not afraid to fight for extra yards. He's a route technician, one of those guys who just very shifty and quickie. I said quickie, I don't know if there's a word. Very shifty and quick like that. I think it kind of reminds me a little bit of like, I ain't saying he's Cooper Kupp, but kind of like the Cooper Kupps, the Jarvis Landry type guys. You know, the guys who are like, okay, they're very crafty. They always find a way to get open type of guys. I think Roman Wilson kind of fall in that category a little bit. But I think the depth chart would be probably, of course, George Pickens, number 1. And then you have Van Jefferson at the 2nd spot. He's been looking pretty good and pretty consistently solid throughout training camp and throughout, the preseason stuff as well. And then you have Calvin Austin, I think. And then 4th, you have Roman Wilson. I think Roman Wilson will move up, though, when he get healthy and be able to play. And then after that, let's see. Do you have Quez? Yes, Scotty Miller. Who else do we have on here? I think those are probably the most notable guys. I think Scotty Miller probably can beat out Quez Watkins because of the veteran presence he have. And Quez Watkins also didn't have too good of a showcase in preseason as the kick returner guy, and also as as a receiver as well. He haven't done anything spectacular in training camp or at practice or anything like that. So I think he might get cut. He probably find a different spot on another team, but I think Scotty Miller probably get that spot. He did look pretty good last preseason game. I think he had 47 yards. Okay, moving on to tight ends. We got Pat Freiermuth, Darnell Washington, Connor Hayward. You really got to explain that one too much. Those are 3 guys from last year. You got the year before last as well. I think last year, of course, Darnell Washington was rookie last year, but Pat Freiermuth and Connor Hayward was the guys 3 years straight. So they're gonna be the core for our tight end room for quite some time. Offensive lineman, of course, I thought the top 5 gonna start. As you know, Herbig is on IR now because he had the torn rotator cuff. He might be out for quite some time, but probably the whole season most likely. But starting center should be Zach Frazier. You should have the 2 guards, of course, James Daniels, Isaiah Malu, and then right tackle should be Troy Fautanu, and then left tackle should be Broderick Jones. A lot of people bring a lot of hate to Broderick Jones, but he is injured. Now, in his interview, he said he don't want to put the injury, use the injury as an excuse, but he's injured. His arm is literally like wrapped up and taped up and braced up like that on his arm like that. He's injured, so he's playing injured. People thought he was like a draft bust because he had 1 game that was bad in preseason, but last year, you see what he did in the regular season when the games actually matter. He went out there and changed and upscaled our rushing attack by a lot. We went from bottom to we went to like, I think number 11 or 12 at that last year. When his first game he got in there, we rushed for 200-something yards like that. We've seen the plays and impact blocking plays he had down the field. So people bringing this unnecessary hate towards him is kind of ridiculous. But I think that should be the starting 5 right there. Frazier at the center, 2 guards, James Daniels, Isaiah Malu, and then right tackle you have Troy Fautanu, and then left tackle you have Broderick Jones. That should be the starting 5 right there, and that's gonna be the core for the team that's gonna get this team going. The young offensive line. Of course, McCormick he's gonna make the team. I think most of these guys, like McCormick, made the team. Of course, Dan Moore will be on there as well for depth purposes. And Spencer Anderson and different guys. They might sign somebody else since Herbig is out with the injury on IR. They might could bring somebody else in for more depth purposes, like a backup center type guy. We'll see what they do. But yeah, these are the guys. Defensive linemen, same defensive linemen, it's the same people. Cam Hayward, Leo Ogunjobi, kind of Benning, all those guys like that. DeMarvin Leal probably still labeled as defensive lineman, but he's kind of playing more on the edge now. It's like left linebacker a little bit, but he's still labeled as a defensive lineman because his ability to play all around the line. But it's gonna be the same guys from last year, the same guys, Loudermilk and all those guys, same guys from last year. They added Logan Lee to the list too as well. Too, he probably make the team as well as depth piece. But yeah, it's gonna be the same guys like that. They've been very good consistently. Well, we do got to draft some defensive tackles though next year because some guys get a little older. Linebackers, of course, mostly the same guys. I think Tyler McAfee, he's back, of course, now. And then Peyton Wilson is back too as well. And yeah, that's pretty much, I think, but he's the same guys. Patrick Queen, of course, we got him. I think the starting inside linebackers will probably be Patrick Queen and Landon Roberts. And then you see Peyton Wilson come in here and there like that, rotating in different spots, in different packages. And you might see Mark Robinson as well do it too. Tyler McAfee, can't say his last name, Makovich. I don't know if he's still wearing number 44 or not, but you see him out there too as well, mixing it up in those different sub packages, but it's basically the same guys. And of course on the edge, you got TJ Watt, you got Alex Highsmith. You had Marcus Golden at first, but remember he retired. So you got Herbeck now, and now DeMarvin Leal is playing on the edge a little bit too as well, so that's kind of your edge guys right there. Cornerbacks, of course, I think Joey Porter Jr. is going to be cornerback 1. Now my hot take, remember I mentioned before, I think most likely it's going to be, I'm trying to see, I don't know if you're going to start off the back to be the second cornerback too, but I think early on in the week, about week 3-4, I think Corey Trice is going to be cornerback 2. And Dante Jackson would be a guy who's like a piece that's used like here in different spots and stuff. I think Joey Porter Jr. for now gonna be Joey Porter Jr. It's gonna be Dante Jackson, then Corey Trice, and then you have probably Beanie Bishop, and I'd say Darius Rush, Anthony Everett, and yeah, those probably the guys like you're gonna use at cornerback mostly. Like that, those gonna be the guys right there in the corner. But I think Corey Trice has the ability and potential to be the second corner like that. He's been playing very good and very consistent throughout preseason, good at man-to-man covers, good at tracking the ball, and he's versatile. He can not only guard in the slot, he can guard on the outside as well and make a lot of different plays. So I think he might emerge as the second cornerback early on in the season. Safeties, of course, you know, Minkah Fitzpatrick, KZ, Deshaun Elliott, Miles Killebrew, Ryan Watts, basically kind of the same guys really we had last year. So yeah, except for Deshaun Elliott, of course, he got added to the team. And of course, the kickers, you know, Chris Boswell, of course, nobody taking Chris Boswell's spot, the Wizard of Oz. Cameron Johnston looked pretty good actually, you know, punting the ball. You want to see too many punts, so sometimes you want to see some touchdowns, but he looked pretty good punting the ball. To Presley Harvin last year, he didn't look too good with us. Now he's looking good with a different team, but he ain't looking too good with us like that. And then they probably have some other guys too to add on the roster and stuff as well. So yeah, so I think those part of the guys right there. They're gonna be most of the guys right there added to the roster on the 53-man roster. So yeah, and they might keep around Mr. Gadget, the Gadget player, Plumlee. He can play with quarterback, receiver. They have him kick return and stuff like that. They might keep him around just to go out there and make some plays. Because having a guy like that, they always seem to make some good plays. We're Taysom Hill, make good plays. We got Corey Patterson on the team right now. He mostly on the offensive side, like with things. You know, he do kick return, punt return specialist as well. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he has the most kick returns in the NFL history. And I believe he is almost close to getting, one of the most or top 5 in kick return yards or something like that. But he broke a lot of records. He's definitely a future Hall of Famer. Corey Patterson, a special teamer. He like an 8-time or 7-8-time Pro Bowler and multiple time like All Pro at the position. Broke the record for kick returns. He broke a lot of records. So hopefully the Steelers utilize him in the kick return game, like in certain spots like that, and use him as a gadget player. We'll see what happens. But Plumlee's definitely going to be a guy they probably keep around, like either whether on practice squad or whether he made the roster, just to utilize him to see his talents. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think. Do you like the depth chart thing and what you're going to put on there? And I'll see you guys next time on the channel. Peace out.